Well, for those who are unfamiliar, though, what are the basics of 529 plans?
Sure. So the basics of 529 plans are as follows. First of all, they are named after Section 529 of the Internal Revenue Code. Many people wonder, where did that name come from? You may be familiar with 401k or 403b. Those are other sections of the Internal Revenue Code, but this is one that's focused on enabling U.S. families to save on a tax advantage basis for the purpose of higher education. So what's different about these accounts, Sarah, is when you contribute money into them, these are after-tax dollars, so you've earned the money and you're making contributions. When you're doing that and when those contributions grow in value, they're not taxed along the way. So you may recall if you've got a bank savings account or a mutual fund account or other forms of investments, you get those 1099s at year end showing you the interest you've earned or your earnings on the account, and you've got to pay tax on that. Not so with 529. So they grow tax free, which is special, and earnings on it are never taxed when withdrawn and used for a wide range of higher education expenses. And those are associated with two-year colleges, four-year colleges, trade and technical schools, graduate and professional studies, not just traditional college. And the money can be used for room and board, on campus, off campus, books and supplies, computers, tuition. That's a big one, right? So these accounts are for those purposes. They have these wonderful tax advantages. And 37 states and the District of Columbia incent their residents further by giving them an annual tax break of some sort for investing in the 529 program. And you mentioned my book. In the back of the book, towards the end of it, I've got an index of all those 37 states and what those tax advantages are. So that's an added incentive.
And guys, you can see, well, a little bit in my bookshelf, we've got 529 there. And then also big center, right, with Patricia.
Yes, yes.
And where can they get the book? Where can they buy the book?
Sure. So Route 529 is sold at Amazon.com. I've seen it popping up in other places from time to time. I'm not certain about the other ones, but I know for sure Amazon has it both in paperback and in an electronic version.
Now, is it ever too early or too late to start saving? Because I'm seeing a couple of my own clients right now freaking out like, oh my God, I haven't invested in this yet. And my kid is 5.
No, it is never too early and never too late to start saving for a child's future. Now, the earlier you start, the better, because you have the benefit of time and the benefit of compound growth. But as moms and dads, if you happen to have dads as listeners too, we're often very hard on ourselves. We've got multiple priorities, and sometimes we put things off that we wish we had done sooner. Wherever you are in your child's journey, just get started now if you haven't started yet. I say it's never too early. I had mentioned to you that you can even open an account before your child is born. You can open a 529 account, name yourself as the account owner, yourself as the beneficiary, and then when your child arrives and you have a date of birth and a social security number, you can flip it to them. The benefit of that is maybe for baby showers or maybe for birth gifts, welcome to the world gifts, you've already got the account established because you're busy in those early days of motherhood. So it's fine to get started early. It's fine to get started anywhere along the line, but now is the time, regardless of where you're at. Because even if your child's in middle school or high school, you still have time to accumulate some funds, and you have time to invite others to join you on your savings journey. You don't need to go it alone. Friends and family can contribute. And I hope we'll talk about that a little bit more.
100%. Let's go back into the corporate market.
Hmm.
Why do you feel it's so important? And why do you actually go to these companies and talk to them about creating these incentives for their employees to start investing in 529 plans?
Yeah, that's a great question. It is a large part of my day job at Gift of College is to get into employers of all sizes in all places across the US and to tell them about the fact that it is valuable to employees to learn about preparing for higher education expenses. For the average family in the US, this is the second largest investment they will ever make in their lifetime. And it is an incredible source of financial stress. So I talked to employers about the fact that 2/3 of Americans know nothing about 529 plans. So this is very valuable education to bring into the workplace. The other thing I talk to employers about is the fact that when employees take money directly from their paycheck, payroll deduction, into a 529 account, this has been studied, and it shows that individuals save 75% more. Now, why is that? I think it's the convenience of it. And I also think that if the money doesn't first pass your hands, you're getting it into these accounts. I've got a number of employers who are now matching contributions to employees' accounts, which
Wow.
is great, just like they do for retirement. Some employers are doing a one-time $100 match. Others are matching $100 a month. It really depends on the
Amazing.
employer. And then some employers, my company, Gift of College, has gift cards, and I'm holding one up for anyone who can see this versus just hear it. We have gift cards that can be redeemed into any state's 529 account.
So
And
cool.
some employers are now, instead of giving us a silver spoon or a $150 flower arrangement, they're giving something more modest, and they're giving a contribution toward the employee's college account. And some are even giving my book along with it. I love hearing this. So I really educate employers about the value of taking this level of stress off of employees by giving them some information that they really need.
That's incredible. I mean, it gives me hope for the future of our country too, that corporations are really starting to care more and more. I'm in that wellness benefit market, and I absolutely love hearing when companies are like, you know what, my employees' health, their financial stability is important, and they start just investing in programs and services like yours and mine to make a difference for their lives. So I love
Yeah,
hearing that. I
I
like
love
that.
it too. And I do remind them it's just not for parents in their organization. Any individual can be saving for their own advanced learning. So it could be someone who has no children at all in their life and doesn't even intend to have children, but you can save on a tax advantage basis, perhaps for a graduate degree that you want to achieve. I went to school later in life for that graduate degree, and others do too. And also, you may have aunts and uncles, godparents, grandparents in the workplace. Many individuals would benefit from learning about these plans. So if any of your listeners work for a corporation that should be educating their employees about this, feel free to reach out. I come in all the time. And even if an employer doesn't want to take on the payroll deduction platform, doesn't want to match to employee accounts, many employers have me in to talk to their parenting employee resource group or for a special presentation. So that's always possible too.
What made you decide to write this book? Because you've been speaking about it for so long, but what makes this book so important for everyone to grab a copy today?
I decided to write the book, Route 529, during the pandemic of 2020. I found myself with extra time on my hands. And I also found myself extremely frustrated by hearing yet another survey that 64% or 65% of Americans still didn't know about 529 plans. So that lack of awareness coupled with student loan debt on the news almost daily and my having time on my hands, I thought, you know what? I've got a lot of expertise in this topic. I'm the mom of a soon to be debt free grad. Let me write a book that is understandable for everyone, that both educates and inspires others to get on a path that can lead to something other than debt and regret. And that's why I wrote the book. And I'm so happy I did. It's one of the best things I ever did. I know a lot of people were baking sourdough bread and developing other hobbies during the pandemic. I decided to write a book about saving for college, and I'm so, so glad that I did. It's really helping people. And Sarah, you know from knowing me outside of this context that it's really led to a lot of media interest in the topic of avoiding student loan debt. So I'm so happy about this. And that was the decision. I had no intention prior to that, but that extra time on my hands and my interest in helping others really just got me writing. So I'm so happy I did.
I love that. And especially because you share that story of not having the 529 for yourself and now your son giving him that opportunity to be debt free. And he actually wrote the foreword to your book, right?
He did. He did. He was supposed to be studying abroad in Spain in the spring of 2020.
Oh
And he
no.
was there for a while, but suddenly the world turned upside down. And
Right.
all of the international students, I think, who were studying from the US, I think most got sent home. Their universities wanted them back for safety purposes. And
Right.
a lot of those programs closed. So he was here with me while I was writing it, and he was finishing up his junior year, spring of college, and then heading into senior year. And I was asking him, what did he remember from his childhood? What had we told him about the fact that we were saving? What steps does he remember we took as a family? And he was really helpful in reminding me that we would cash in his coins from his piggy bank twice a year, that I would encourage him to put part of his tooth fairy money or his birthday money into the college account. He said he knew for certain. He doesn't remember exactly when he knew, but he knew his dad and I were both taking money out of our pay. And that really impacted him in thinking, gee, this is something that's really important for them, and it's something that I'm going to be doing someday. It was just not whether, it was really when. And
So
he talks
beautiful.
about, and yeah, I love that he wrote the forward. I was thinking about sort of like famous personal finance people that I could ask to write the forward to the book. And then I thought, no, this is a book for parents. Let's hear what a child has to say about the experience of having their parents prepare for them. And I think he's wrote a really good forward to the book. And sometimes he's invited on to interviews with me. Some, individuals want to hear what's the student's perspective. And we've done
Totally.
some joint interviews together. And it's real sweet to hear because he appreciates so much what he's been given. He remembers how it happened. The money didn't fall from a tree. We saved it. And he talks about our driving a car that's over 20 years old. It's way more than 23 or 24 years old now, I think, by the time since the book's been published. But he knows we weren't buying things we didn't need. We were prioritizing this particular goal. And I love what it taught him. And I love that he's excited about it. And he helped with the cover design as well. And
That's
that made
cool.
me really happy too. Yeah, just it's wonderful that he was involved in it.